Welcome to the Salt Strong Fishing Podcast. Salt Strong has been helping saltwater anglers catch more fish in less time for 10 years and is now the largest and most trusted saltwater fishing community in America. If you want to catch more saltwater fish, then keep listening. If you want to speed up your fish catching results even faster, then join the private insider community at saltstrong.com. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Is this the best saltwater travel rod ever made? Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds.
And Luke Simons.
Luke's here in front of the camera. If you guys are listening, we're here. It's kind of windy. We're getting away from some crazy weather here in Florida. Caught a lot of fish this morning, even on this travel rod. So want to do a podcast to talk about why we created this, why we believe it is the best one that we've ever seen, a 4-in-1 travel rod. And also, we get a lot of questions about the slot machine and the slam stick, and we'll talk about that in this podcast as well, in terms of why we created each of these rods and when you would want to use them. So, Luke, what do we got here? This is the...
Yeah, this is the new, it's called the Slam Stick Traveler. So we've had the Slam Stick for about maybe 7 or 8 months now. Amazing reviews. It's been awesome. We had the medium and medium light. And we've had a lot of members ask, don't mind the thunder. We're in the middle of a nasty storm, but a lot of members have asked about, hey, I need a travel rod. I'm going on vacation, especially summertime. So we started designing this a while back. And why it's unique is that for travelers, you can have one case that essentially can cover every rod need you have. So out of this one rod, you basically have 4 different rods. And how it works is you have one bottom section, and it's in there good. Let me got everything.
Yeah, a nice hard case that not going to get busted up in travel.
There it is. So that's the bottom.
And this is a 7.6 too, which is unique, right?
Yeah, and a nice, it's a 7.6 rod. Most traveling rods are 7 and 7.6. For those who are using 7.6 rods, it's very tough to go back down to a 7. You can't cast nearly as far. For kayak fishermen, when a fish is going around the nose of your kayak, with the longer rod, you can help protect your rod and your line from not breaking. If you haven't gone 7.6 yet, I highly recommend doing so. So you have the base.
Yeah, this is a cork, by the way. We'll explain if you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, a nice full cork handle, so that if you use a lightweight reel like the Otis 2500, if you happen to drop it in the water, it floats. You don't need to go buy. I know a lot of kayakers buy those little bright orange floats for the rods. If you get a good rod and a lightweight reel, the setup floats by itself, and this one does as well. So you get the base, then you have 2 midsections. One is medium, one is medium light. So like this morning, when the wind was cranking before the storm, I was throwing this big bomber. This is the 5-inch bomber mulligan, and I needed that extra heft. So I have the medium power mid and the fast action tip. This afternoon, I'm going to throw some smaller lures. The wind's going to die down, and I'm going to switch to a tip. Currently, I have the fast action.
Let me see it. So they're all listed here?
Yeah, they all have the names on them. And then this afternoon, I'm going to throw the little small flea flicker, and I'm going to use the moderate fast. And so now we can customize, depending on what you're going to be throwing, while on vacation, and you can customize the rod to be perfectly matched with whichever lure or baits that you're using. So pretty cool. We're really excited about it. And again, it all comes in this one case. Easy to put together. Another cool thing too that a lot of travel rods don't do, let me just show you this, is I do a decent amount of fly fishing, and especially those higher end fly rods, they'll have the little dots so that when you're putting it together, see the dots on there? To know that you're perfectly aligned is all you do is you just match the 2 white dots, right? Kind of twist it into place. Same thing for the top one.
I just love that it's 4-in-1. This is so cool.
Yeah. So just match the dots, and now all you have to do is look at the dots, see if they match, and you're now ready to go. Obviously, put a reel on here and start catching some fish. So yeah, we've been super happy with it. Yeah, as far as the handle too, we have just the ergonomic grip. You can see it. It basically goes down to the to the blank there, where you can have the maximum feel. The hook keeper is for weedless. So weedless setups like we have down here. Just for those who don't use these, if you use weedless baits, now all you have to do is just slide the hook into it. It's secure. If you see a redfish or a trout or whatever, you can keep looking at it. All you do is just pull down and out. Lures on and off without having to expose the hook point. So yeah, really, really happy with this thing. So far in testing, it's been awesome. We put this through a lot of abuse on overslot reds, on even on grouper. And this thing has, again, it has the backbone you need for big fish. And then you can soften the tip based on what you're going to be throwing. So really, really cool that you can do it all with just one rod instead of having by 4.
And, so inside we have Tony and Pat and Scott Ray. We're doing some filming out here. We were doing some filming before the storm came in. And Scott flew in from Texas. He did not have one of these yet. We're going to gift him one because he needs it. Instead, he did what a lot of anglers do, is he had to go get the PVC pipe for his 7.5 foot rods. And that costs a lot of money. It holds you up. It obviously, if you're traveling, like I've gone to Costa Rica every year, and I'll take a travel rod like this. This will be my new one, obviously. It's the first 7.6 that I've ever had. All my other ones are 7.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to be able to carry this on. You go through customs quicker. You can go fishing quicker, get your destination quicker. There is nothing worse than having to go to the oversized area where all the golf clubs and these fishing rods are and wait sometimes hours. Now you have it all here in one tube. It's protected.
Yep.
I mean, heck, I wouldn't encourage you to do it, but you could probably run this over with, I wouldn't say a car, but maybe. I mean, it's pretty doggone sturdy.
Yeah.
And that thing is not gonna bust. I mean, that looks so sharp.
Yeah. And again, and eventually we're going to have one that goes from medium to medium heavy too. That's in the works. That's the next rod. All these go through a lot of testing. So we put this through a lot of testing before we actually took it live. So the next one that we're testing will be the medium to medium heavy. I'll be using that one out on the reefs, testing to get some cobia and some permit, some bigger fish. But so far, this medium light to medium has been on point. Again, a lot of testing went through this. So far, 0 issues with any of these connections having any issues. This is the company we're working with is a giant manufacturer of rods. They make really good stuff, and again, so far it has been awesome. So we're very confident you're going to like them. Obviously, if anything happens, just let us know. We'll take care of you. Shouldn't be the case, but anything happens, just let us know. And for you members, you will save 20% off of this rod. So you can get great savings and of course, enjoy a lot of great fish catching while you're all out on vacation.
And that's at fishstrong.com. Let's go through the other ones now. So we've covered this travel rod and why you should have one.
Yep.
A lot of people have asked, hey, you guys have, the slot machine.
Yeah, here's the other new one. This is the only one we have here. This is the slot machine medium heavy. This is the one that just recently came out. And for the ultimate, for some people that say, what's the difference between the slot machine and the slam stick? So slot machine is really for those who want the best of the best. This rod was designed to have the best feel, the lightest weight possible, and is lighter and more sensitive than any other rod because we purposely made it so that it's just for serious anglers. So the reason why most companies don't do it like this is because if you put paint, most companies put paint on the rods and they put a little bit extra thickness in the walls so that fishermen don't break the rods too frequently. This is designed for advanced anglers who know how to protect a rod, no high sticking. So the con of having ultimate performance is that the rods are going to be more brittle, right? We went with the thinnest walls possible and we've put no paint. There's no paint on here, which deadens the feel. And so again,
paint deadens the feel. So this one is sensitive.
Yeah, paint will deaden the feel. This is strictly the carbon blank, and it is by far the most sensitive rod I've ever used. So, but if it's only for people who are serious about wanting it costs more. And this is made.
Well, let's talk about, because I think a lot of people don't understand what sensitive means. So put this in a brand new angler's term. Yeah. What does sensitive mean in a rod?
Yeah, sensitive means that you can feel exactly what's happening with your lure. You can feel, it is the ultimate feel. You can feel the difference between a pinfish just pecking at your lure or a trout or redfish thumping it, actually eating it. And that's a big deal. That is a really big deal. Most people, when they're losing their tails of their soft plastics, it's because a little small bait fish is tapping at it, and they don't have the power to rip the tail off themselves. But when anglers feel the tap and think it's a big fish and set the hook, that's what gives these little small bait fish the power to actually pull tails off. So being able to feel the difference between the thump and the tap is a big deal. Also, when you do set the hook on pinfish, which most people do, people who set the hook 10 times and don't catch any fish, you're setting the hook on pinfish. But when you do that, that spooks everything else away, right? No little bait fish is going to magically just bolt real quick and all the line and the water moving. So the best thing to do, right? Some of my best fish, especially big trout, have been caught when I can feel the pinfish tapping at the lure, the tap, 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 and I don't set the hook. I just keep doing a retrieve. Now the big fish in the area, they see those pinfish ganging up on something small, and it thinks it's going to go get an easy meal. It's going to swim up and then to go attack the lure without any worry that it's fake. And so again, that's some of the best ways to catch the biggest fish, is to be in a zone with all those little small fish tapping at your lure. Know the difference that it's not a big fish. Let those pinfish tap at it and then wait for that thump. And that's when you let it have it. And long story short, this rod will help you catch more fish. The rod is by far, for those using lures, the rod by far is the most important variable. This travel rod is the best for traveling that I've ever used. It's a high-end rod, but for this slot machine is a next level. It's just the next level.
It's almost like a custom rod for a fraction of the price.
Yeah, and all these are custom too. So we customize this. The medium heavy is customized for 3,000 size reels. Pretty much all 3,000s from Daiwa and Shimano fit this perfectly, meaning that this line, as it shoots through the guides, I'll just show you. A way to test to see if your rod is designed for your reel is if you finger the line right on the very center point of the spool, and then you do the line just a little bit tight and see if it goes through that first guide or not without touching, right? In this case, it goes through the first two guides. I don't know if you can see that, but it goes through the first two guides without touching them. That helps. It's called efficiency of flow. That way, when this line is shooting up off of the reel on the cast, it's gonna go through this guide naturally. Most people put the guides too far down and too close to the rod, where the line is naturally going to be hitting the top part. And when those coils are coming through and the line is already hitting the top, the coils can go up and around, and that's going to create a wind knot.
And slows it down.
And it slows it down. So this will give you a better casting distance and less odds of wind knots. So the medium size, same for the slot machine and the slam stick, the medium and medium light rods are customized for 2,500 size reels. So the 25, the Otis is perfectly balanced. So the Otis 2,500 is perfectly balanced for these rods, or you can, again, any reel from Daiwa, Shimano, the big ones. A 2,500 size reel is going to do the same thing. At that line, it's going to shoot through these guides as efficiently as possible. Right now, it's not on the midpoint, but that's about the midpoint there. It's going to shoot through those guides with the least amount of resistance possible. And again, have the minimal wind knots, and most importantly, help you catch more fish with less hassles.
And we encourage you to do that test that Luke just did on all of your setups. There's a lot of big name companies that you might already own their rods that have not done the best job. And a lot of it's because they're trying to crank them out as quick as they can and don't really think about, hey, what reel are they going to put on there? We have done all that for you.
And it's super easy, right? Just get the line, pinch it right on the midpoint of the reel. That's the center point. And then keep, with the other hand, just keep the line tight, and you can see where that line naturally goes. This one is dead center. That first one, dead center. Yeah, the rod is a big deal. Again, for a lot of people struggle with lures, and mostly it's because they're using just lower end rods. Like any rod that marks themselves as unbreakable, that means you can't feel anything. Because the more sensitive the rod, the more likely it is to break. So an unbreakable rod essentially means you can't feel anything, which is cool. There's a market for that. But for lure fishing, you need to be able to feel everything that's going on. You need to know, again, the taps versus the thumps. Also, like last night, we're catching a bunch of good snook in deeper water, and to be able to feel the bottom and just feel your lure hitting up against a rock, knowing where that structure is just going to elevate the odds that you're going to be the one catching the most fish. It's all about feel, and the rod is the most important thing. For many years, I would spend more money on the reels, and then the rod was kind of the leftover budget. Now that's totally flip-flop, and my fish catching has skyrocketed. The rod takes up the most budget by far, then the line, get a very good line, and then reel now is really my lowest on the priority. And again, catch rate has gone way up.
Yeah, and think about it. The rod makes the cast, right? That's your leverage to make a long cast. It feels the strike. It sets the hook. It brings the fish in, right? I mean, this is essentially just a winch. I mean, the reel is really just sit there to bring line in and shoot line out. Rod does all the work.
Yep. And again, for travelers, highly recommend, even just for people who a lot of our members like to go fish before or after work, and like to just be able to throw it in the trunk of the car. So having a nice travel setup will be able to let you do that as efficiently and easily as possible.
All right, so let's talk about, everyone should get one of these for sure, right, to travel. But who should be buying the slam stick versus the slot machine?
Yes.
Just to be clear, you mentioned kind of maybe beginners don't start with.
Yeah. So if you are known to break rods, don't get the slot machine because it is more breakable than anything else. But if you want ultimate performance and you take care of your gear, the slot machine is without a doubt going to help you catch more fish. It is, now that I've been using this, it's painful to go back to with the rods that I used to use like 3 or 4 years ago. The slam stick is close. Like, it is better than most other rods. This is like the second best rod I've used. This is just next level, but it's the next price tier up. It's an extra like $100. For people who want to get customized rod feel without having to pay $500-$600 like an actual custom rod would be, the slam stick is amazing. The one piece, we still haven't done the pricing yet on this, but the one piece is $199. It's only $199, and members get $50 off. So for members, it's only $150 for the one piece slam stick. That is,
that's a
deal. Nothing else.
$300 rod all day long.
Because we cut out all the middlemen. We're passing that savings to you. So most for a rod of that caliber, it would normally be in the upper 200s, if not 300. So if you're looking for a good rod that is actually durable, the slam stick is the way to go. It's amazing. If you want top tier performance and you take good care of your stuff, then go to the slot machine. It really comes down to those two.
And the slot machine's $100 off. I scratch my head when we have people who buy this at full price who aren't members.
Yeah.
It was like, you could literally just join for $97 and get an automatic $100 off. So if you guys are buying the slot machine on a member, I guess thank you. We'll take the extra money, but join the club. We'd rather have you in there.
Yep.
There's so many, and that's just one of the many benefits from obviously the tackle savings. We do a tackle tester every month.
Yep.
Free Slam Shady for life. Every single month we give a chance to get a free Slam Shady.
And for tips on not breaking rods. So even though this rod is, again, I mentioned before, it is the most likely to break if not cared for. It'll catch giant fish without breaking. So I've caught over 40-inch snook off of docks. Plus, this is the one I took offshore when I was catching some big red grouper and the biggest mangrove snapper I've ever seen. But the red grouper were getting up to 29 inches. So as far as not breaking a rod, as long as the rod tip doesn't go more than 90 degrees from the butt, you're not going to break the rod. Where people break the rods is if they're holding the rod up and a redfish dives under the boat and they keep the rod up, that point is going to shoot down. And when it comes down beyond 90 degrees from the butt, that's when the rod's going to break. If a fish is going under the boat, the experienced angler puts their rod down so that the rod never bends over itself. So as long as you don't do that, you're never going to break the rod. Even if you hook into a 7-foot hammerhead, the rod is not going to break unless it overextends itself. Or if you're traveling, right? If we do sell rod sleeves as well. So if you do get the slot machine and you are traveling, you put like the rod in the bed of a truck, get a rod sleeve just to make sure that it doesn't get any nicks while you're traveling. But again, slot machine, by far the nicest rod I've ever used. And obviously everything is high end. We even have like carbon inlay right here where it's just super lightweight. And again, Like this now, this is what I take. The rod itself for the medium heavy is less than 5 ounces. It's like 4.95. It's crazy lightweight, and while still having the power to get some big fish.
Cool. Well, that's it on the rods, guys. Any questions, let us know. Depending on when you're hearing this travel rod should be available at fishrun.com. 4-in-1. I never seen anything like it. We basically designed it because we're like, hey, if we were going to make the perfect rod, what would it look like? We've been working on this for a long time. And 4-in-1. Love this super hard, durable case.
You got a shoulder strap,
I'm going to say indestructible because I think you could run it over with a really big truck.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But not probable.
Yes, but that is awesome.
Fishstrong.com.
That's it. Guys, we appreciate you. Any questions, let us know down below. And can't wait to hear what you think about this new travel rod.
Woo-woo. See ya.
Want more fishing tips, shortcuts, and tools so you can catch more fish per trip? Then head over to saltstrong.com now and join the movement. Tight lines, and thanks for listening.